Okay, so this is called How to Race Ironman Canada, and so this is the beginning of the race, and it's probably old Canada. That kind of looks like everyone's kind of standing at attention. And these are your gear bags, either the swim to bike or bike to run. It's a lot of bags. It's a lot of people. Okay. So this is the race week. Okay, so this week should be pretty light and easy, so you can be enjoying your condo, Ken, on the beach. But what I did last year is I think I arrived on Tuesday, and then I would do rides on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then swims in the morning too. So if you guys want to do that, I'll arrange that as well. Okay. And it's a great way to get used to the lake, used to the water, and just get used to exercising in Penticton. These are just minor things. We'll just go through quickly. Things like Thursday, merchandise tent opens. So if you ever want to buy some Ironman stuff, a lot of the good stuff gets picked up early. So go in and pick up what you want. Friday, the big thing is get as much sleep as you can on Friday, because you won't sleep very well on Saturday. So Friday is the night to get good sleep. There's something called the underpants run on Friday at 8 in the morning. It's becoming a traditional thing that people do. They get up and they run their underwear. There'll be hundreds of people doing it. I've never done it. Brian's probably done it a couple of times.
No, I haven't, honest to God.
The pre-race welcome dinner is on Friday, and that's always a good thing to go see, especially if it's your first time. And then if you're going to sign up for next year, you can do so on Friday as well. And then Saturday is the day where you check in your bike, and then you check in your gear bags. Okay? And you don't want to pump up your tires too much, especially if it's hot out. Like if it's in the 30s, they will expand a bit and they might blow, so just take the air out a little bit. And then you can pump them up on Sunday. And Sunday's race day. Race day, we need to check in between 5 and 6 a.m., so it's an early start. And you do have access to your bike, so you can put on your bottles and all that kind of stuff, right? And you have access to your run bag and your bike bags as well, so you can put in your nutrition. So you don't need to put your nutrition in the day before.
You say you use new tires. Put new tubes in your tires, or what?
Yeah, I say new tires, just to minimize the chance of getting it flat.
Oh, okay.
I know that when you get to this point, you go, well, do I really want to spend the extra money for new tires? But I like to have new tires on, so it minimizes. So I bought new tires on Thursday, put them on Friday, and then I flatted on Sunday. So I mean, what can you do, right? But you know, I had a tack in it. One thing you should do for Ironman is drive the course, just so you know what you're in for. I only got Ken. You guys have done this, right? Yeah. So drive the course, even if you've done it a few times. It's nice to remind yourself just how long and steep Victor's is, and what is yellow all about, and how far it is. The other thing too is when you register, bring your ID and $5 for a timing strap. So if you have one from another race, take it. You know, I have a couple that I bring because I don't want to pay $5. But bring your ID, because if you're standing in lineup, and the lineup is a long time, and you get there and you forget your ID, you're like, oh, I got to go back. And OK Falls is a long drive. Okay, so there are a bunch of different bags you get. There's gear and special needs food bags. Oh, sorry, there's gear bags and special need food bags. Okay, and you get 5 gear bags when you check in, right? So there's a green bag, there's a blue bag, 2 blue bags. One blue bag is a bike gear, and the blue bag is a special needs food bag. Okay. The morning clothes bag, this is an important one. So you put all the clothes that you're wearing in the morning into that bag before you start the swim, right? And I always put extra warm clothes in there. Like if you're going to stay till 12 o'clock at night, put in a jacket or something so you are going to stay warm, right? I also put my phone in there as well, and I'll put it in a Ziploc just in case it rains. So that when you're done, you can call someone or you can text them, say, hey, I'm done, can you pick me up? Or I'm here, because it's crazy. Yeah. At the finish line, it is really, really crazy.
What's the morning like parking? Do you get somebody to drop you off? Or
Yeah, that's the easiest.
It's brutal.
And it's tough because like the town of Penticton gets split into two halves, you know, because the race goes right down the main street, right? So it's either like you stay on either the east side or the west side of town.
In your bike bag, you put things you need to bike. You know, your helmet, shoes, socks, your number belt, and that's left overnight. So on Saturday, you drop that off in your run bag as well. And then the blue special foods bag, that's where you put things that you want after 120k of biking, right? So I put in things like, you can do a frozen water bottle if it's warm.
I wouldn't lie to you, boys.
One year I tried Pringles. Some people use it. I won't use them again. You can put gel flasks full, Band-Aids in case you get blisters. You can put warm clothes that you're okay losing. I put okay losing because say if it's raining out and you're freezing, then you could take something and put it on. But say if it's warm, you got this shirt there and you're not going to take it, say goodbye to it because you don't get it back. Okay, so just put in clothes that you're okay losing or something you pay cheap for.
And water bottles, I just chucked it. Like, you know, I brought my, water bottles, just chuck them.
Don't bring your favorite water bottles.
Don't bring your favorite water bottles because they're gone, right? Because you're going to get special needs. You're going to reload your bottles, right?
Yeah. Bring your old ones.
Bring old bottles.
Yeah. Make sure they don't leak though, right? You don't want them leaking all over the place. Then you get red bags. You get a run bag, and then the run bag you put on things like running shoes, hat, gels, running clothes, socks, Band-Aids, and that's left overnight as well. And then the run special foods bag, you put in extra nutrition or things that you want. And if you're going to be out there for a long time, some people are, right? You might want to put in warmer clothes, right? Like some people anticipate to finish at 15 or so hours, right? You can put in extra bottle of mix. You can put Pringles again. You can put gummies. You can put gel flasks. You can put pictures of your kids or little notes or Band-Aids, warm clothes, anything like that, or salt tablets. So that's what that special needs is all about. So the gear bags are dropped off on Saturday, and the special needs bags are dropped off just before you get body marked race morning on Sunday. Okay. And you do, even though you drop them off on Saturday, you still have access to them on Sunday. So you can go in and put stuff in there in case you forget. So don't say, oh, now I can't do it. You can still access them. Okay. Okay, so this is just a picture of the bike to run area, and how it's done is based on your number. So say if you're 502, then you go to this marker here, and you just put your bag right after 501, right? And that's what they do. They stack all the way back. Okay, and it just goes for a long time. So you really need to remember your number. What I usually do is I always go in and take a picture of it, so I have a mental image, so I can just kind of flip through it on my phone the night before. We're in a really good tech age, right? So you can do all this stuff. Same thing with the swim and the bike bags. It's all based on your number, right? And there's a lot of bags.
I even found one thing.
Oops.
I did like put little streamers on the top of my bag too, like just a bright color, because that helped a bit.
That's a gong show, that is.
That's quite the picture.
This is a shot from overhead, and
Oh, no way. Just on the bike.
so this is how everything works. Okay, so you've got these are all swim to bike bags, right? These are all bike to run bags. And over here is the swim exit. So you swim out. These are where you take your wetsuits off. All the wetsuit strippers are there. Then you run over here to your row, run down it, pick up your bag. Then you go into the change tent. In the change tent, you change into your biking gear, and then you come over here and find your bike and the bike racks. And there's lots of bikes, like close to 3,000 bikes, right? Then you go out on your bike, small 180, come on back. And then when you come back in, then you go to here to bike to run bags, and then you find your bag, and then you go back over to the change tent, get changed, and then you head out. So that's how transition works. Okay? Looks pretty big, eh?
It is.
But it's a really nice overview shot, and you can see what's going on. I don't know what that is.
It's probably the gear bags, isn't it? Or the morning clothes
Oh,
bag.
the morning clothes bag. Yeah, that's right. So body marking begins at 5. And it says don't put sunscreen on before you get body marked. Transition closes at 6:30, so you have to be done everything. And then have to head to the swim start. And I recommend getting out there and then starting to warm up. Because there's a lot of people that don't want to warm up. They're like, do I really want to do this? And so they just take their time getting there. And then by the time you get there, there's so many people. So make your way through and get in a warm up. You know, in a lot of triathlons, you can put your towel down, put your bag down, all this stuff, right? In Ironman, there's none of that. You've got your bike, that's it. Right? And nothing else.
Yeah, because they don't even allow shoes on the bike or anything.
Only for the pros.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you guys can't do that.
Right.
Don't wear your race number under the swim, or sorry, under your wetsuit during the swim. A lot of people used to do that, but now they kind of deteriorate. So don't put it under. It only takes a second to put on anyways. If you have eyeglasses, there's a table as you come out of the lake, and you can pick up your glasses. But they do need to be labeled with your race number. Okay. Okay, so now we're on to the swim course. Okay, so the course is 3.8. Let's just say it's 4, right? You got a cutoff time of 9:20 a.m. It starts at 7, and there's 2 large buoys, 2 turns. Large buoys. They used to be houseboats, but they've been replaced with buoys. You can still see them. They're pretty big. It's nice to think about it in 3 legs. The first leg here is 1,600, and this turn here is 400, and coming home is 1,800. Okay. So for the swim, I like to get everyone to do a warm-up, right? Get in and swim out. What I would usually do, say if I was starting around here, I'd swim out to a buoy or 2 and then come on back. Okay, but just keep the warm-up simple, just really loosening them up. What the cool thing to do is when you go out to this buoy, then you just stop and then you look back. And then you look at all the crowd. And they're just standing there and the crowd's there, the racers are there. And it's worth doing. It's pretty cool, but be very aware of the other swimmers because a lot of them they're zoned out and they're swimming and you're going this way, they're going that way because they're just warming up. So just stay really alert in what you're doing. So then the big question is where to start. Do you start on the right side, the middle, or the left side? I always start on the far right side. I don't think I have a picture of that. So right side, because like Brian was saying earlier, if I start here, I will miss the first few buoys and then come on in. Oh, this way. That side. And it's legal to do that. It's still okay to do that. And then come on in here and then do the course. And you're allowed to do it because it's so big.
Why do you pick the right side?
There's a lot of folks on the left. A lot.
The only problem with the right side is it's pretty shallow. So when the gun goes, you're like this, and there's a lot of rocks too. So you're kind of dragging yourself like this, so you're not very fast. But you know, most times when I do Ironman swim here, I'm on the right side and I'm swimming by myself. And if you ever do get in trouble, like say if I'm swimming and someone keeps hitting me, then I have an escape route. I just go to the right. That's really nice. And if you're a strong swimmer, you can put yourself right in the middle, and you have a big draft. It's a lot of arms and legs, though. You can also do the same thing on the left side. And I think if you breathe to the right, then it would make more sense to be on the left side. See, I breathe to the left, so I'd go on the right side.
What's the definition of a strong swimmer? Like, what's the swim time? What you think is strong, like some?
I wouldn't say as far as time wise. I would just mean as far as confidence wise. So if you're like a lot of people, some people are water polo players, so they don't mind the body contact. So if you don't mind getting hit and kicked, then go in the middle, because you get that draft and you get sucked along. But it's a lot of bodies.
I mind it the whole way.
Pardon me?
I don't mind it a little, but if it's the whole...
It was a whole way last year.
To draft or not to draft, sometimes you won't have a choice because there's feet in front of you. But if you have a choice, it's faster to draft than it is to swim by yourself. So today I drafted off Kent a bit, and then he started kind of doing some zigzags.
Having some issues going straight.
So then I'm just going to swim by myself. And it's a lot of work to draft too, because you have to always be looking up and watching your feet and seeing where is the swimmer. But what I like to do too, though, is I will say, let's go back to the picture here. I'll swim here by myself, and I'll make the corner here, and say I'm right beside a swimmer, turning here. I'll let that swimmer go, and I'll draft behind. Because if they've swam the same speed as me for 1,600 meters, there's a good chance you're going to do the whole thing my speed, right? So I'm going to suck in behind the swimmer and then draft. And it's totally legal. Right? It's a good tip. But the problem is when you go behind, you're drafting, it doesn't feel as fast. Because the effort is a lot lower to draft than actually swim by yourself, right? So as long as you can say, I'm okay with that, and I think the speed's the same, then go for it. Because once you get out of the draft and try to swim by yourself, it feels a lot harder. It's funny. I swim wide near the buoys, especially that corner, because people they don't know where they're going, so they do the whip kick, their legs come out, and you can get nailed. So I would swim wide the buoys. If you feel squished, so say if you're swimming, one person's there, you feel like they're just squishing you, then just stop. Like stop swimming, let them go, and then go around them. You're okay to do that, right? Just let them go. I stop all the time when people are just bugging me. I let her speed up. Okay, sighting. I usually recommend sighting every 7 or 8 strokes. If you're swimming off course, you might have to sight more than that, right? But if you're swimming on course, then maybe you can say, well, let me try 10 strokes. Then try 20 strokes. Then if you're pretty straight, then just keep going 20, right? Now, as you get closer to the shore, so here, there's a giant peach, and there's also 2 towers, right? Those condos. And so when you're coming around here, that's what you want to sight. Those big things. There's still buoys you can follow, but it's nice to look at those buildings on the peach. And the peach will help you get close to the finish line. And then once you get close to the finish line, then focus on that to get right in there. Okay, so mental cues. So you guys have probably been doing a lot of self-talk in your head, even during these last 2 swims, right? So like, what are you saying when you're swimming? Right, so try and get some good thoughts in your head, so you can say things like, I am well prepared and ready, steady and smooth, long strokes, and reach. And you just have to do little simple words, right? Just go reach, or think about entry. The other thing you could do is switch it around, so every buoy, you change your thought. There's a lot of buoys out there. And it does help, it passes the time, and it helps your strokes stay together. Okay? So these are things I like to say. I would say reach, entry, glide. On the way back, where it feels like it's taken forever, I count to 100. Count my stroke up to 100, see how far I go, then I start counting again to 100. And it takes your mind off of swimming, and it just gives you something else to do. Because it's a long way to swim. What do you guys think about?
Finishing.
I don't know, it depends. If I'm getting crowded, I start getting mad.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, some of the same stuff. I mean, it depends if you're kind of alone or if you're fighting with other people. You know, sometimes I just get into a groove. I just kind of let my mind wander and think about why I'm there, or my kids, or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Swim to bike transition. So now you're done. And there are wetsuit peelers available, and you just gotta get down the ground to take it, pull it off. You can choose or not to choose to use them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes they get a little overzealous, and they'll just take it and just pull it, but they don't really care about how much your wetsuit costs or anything, right? So, and if you're small too, they can drag you across the ground. You guys aren't in that position, but I've heard story of that happening before. Just pulling a lady on the ground, it's like So that's not. If you don't want to do that, then you can do it yourself. But it's pretty quick. Okay, so these are swim to bike transition. the first thing you do is you take your goggles off, stick them on your head, right? And then you pull the wetsuit down to your waist. And then you run to get your swim to bike bag. You find your number, get it. And then this is where I find is important for me, is you go to the change tent, and you go in the change tent, there's rows and rows and rows of seats.
Yeah.
I'll never take a seat. So say if that's the tent, you come in this way and go out this way, I run right to the end, and I find a volunteer, say, you got my stuff? He says, yes. I just drop it all on the ground, and I take it, take the stuff I need, and then I'm out. I'm not going to go back to row 6, have a seat, and do all this stuff. So I never do that. But for me, I'm all about time and trying to do it as quick as possible. If you need a break, if you need to sit down, the chairs are there for you. Okay? My transition last year was 3 minutes. About 3 and a bit on both sides. Okay, so what you need to do is when you get there, you put your helmet on, put your glasses on, put your wetsuit on your bag. Okay, with your goggles and cap, so make sure that the volunteer sees it so they can pack it up. I'll take my gel flask and put them in my back pocket. Okay, if you're using a watch, you can put your watch on now, unless you've swum with it. And then here is a little different tip that I do too, is I take my bike shoes, I don't put them on, but I'll take them and I'll run to my bike with them. The majority of people put them on and run with the bike shoes. Now I can't run with my bike shoes on, you're kind of running like this. But I can run really well without my shoes. So I will just have my hand, I will run with them right to my bike, and once I get to my bike, I'll put them on.
I think it's hard in their cleats too, it really wears them out.
Yeah.
Concrete.
If you ever watch it, no one else will be doing that. Not many people. They put their shoes on and then they go. And then when you get to the mountain line, take your bike, you got to cross before you get on it. What I do is I still keep running. I'll run for like maybe 10 or 15 feet past it and then get on. Because a lot of people, they come up to the line, they stop.
Yeah.
There's a lineup of people and they try to get on their bike and they're doing this and then they're wobbly and they're going to fall off. So I get past all that craziness, go to the far left side, and then have my own free space, and away I go. Okay? And I take a picture of my row on the bike, so that when you're running down, you can either find a landmark, like a tree or something, or you know you're running to row 32. Whatever works for you guys. Okay, now we're onto the bike. Okay, so we got a 180 kilometer loop here. The cutoff time is 5:30. Special needs is at 120 kilometers, and there's 11 aid stations. So you guys will all get this map in you can download it, right? We all have athlete handbooks, and I recommend downloading it and looking at it. So there's, one aid station there and so on, right? And you can kind of plan it so to expect your nutrition. Okay, and the first one here, I usually just blow by that one, because your bike should be loaded up with all your stuff, and you don't need it. And people do slow down a lot in the transitions, so they have to slow down. So you just go wide. If you're going to miss it, go wide and keep your wits about you, because they're wobbly. They're trying to grab things, they're trying to rip off gels, and just go wide. Don't cross the center line, because you get a penalty, right? There's the course elevation. So there's 3 big bumps or climbs. The first one here is McLean Creek Road, around 20 kilometers. Or maybe a little bit in front of that. Then we got Richter's Pass. Richter's Pass is quite a significant climb. It takes a long time to get up to Richter's Pass. You just kind of settle in, and it's a long, long grind. And then on the back side here, you can see there's a bunch of rollers. And just go nice and steady through those. And then we come along here to the last climb, and this is Yellow Lake. And then you get a very fast descent, right? But this isn't just one climb, it's a series of climbs. I think it's like 3 or 4 of them. Yellow. And same thing with Richter's, not just one. You go down, you keep going up. Just when you think you're done, you keep going up, So this is just a summary of the bike course, and we'll just quickly go through this. The first 14K is really fast, right? It's pretty flat. you can have a tailwind, and you can be booking along at like 45 or 50 kilometers an hour sometimes. It can be very fast. Don't go too fast though. Watch your heart rate. Make sure everything is in check, because you can, especially if you're a slower swimmer and you're a strong biker, when you start, you can be passing hundreds of people. And it feels pretty good to pass that many people. The first year I did, I thought I was Lance Armstrong. Just passing so many people. But then when I got to Richter's Pass, I was no longer Lance. No. Because I worked too hard. So watch your heart rate, perceived effort, and your power. And then at 15K, we go up to McLean Creek Road, and this is the first climb. I'm actually going to skip this. You guys can read this after, because I wanted to get you guys out, and we'll do it quick. Because it'll be just on the file if you want to read it. This photographer is out on the course all the time. I recommend smiling when you see them. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but you're like, you're grimacing and stuff. These are pictures you're going to keep for a while, right? Just even if you feel like really, really bad, just fake it. Put a smile on, because it will. I think it's good for, especially if you only do one.
Yeah.
You can stick it on your wall. You don't want to. I hate this thing, right? You can put a smile on for a second and then say, I hate this. First 10K, we talked about it, right? It's very fast. The ride to Richter's. Going there can be very fast, but the thing you need to focus on is your nutrition, because you can get going so fast and get caught up in the racing. You might go, oh, it's been 2 hours and I haven't had any gels or any bars. So use your watch or something to keep yourself on track. For me, the pace that I ride, I should be coming to an aid station every 30 minutes, and that tells me that I have to take a gel and then water, and I try to drink a bottle of fluid an hour. Now, Richter's, climb your own race. There's a lot of people be racing up it. Let them go. Just let them go, because it could be their first time, and they could be just very keen. They might be really strong bikers. Let them go, right? The chances are you might be passing them on the downside too after they work too hard. Okay. The rollers after Richter's, they can be challenging, because you just done this climb, and you can have the winds in your face. And you go up and down, up and down, up and down. And stay within yourself and focus on nutrition. How did you find that, Brian, last year? The rollers?
I rode them too hard. I think it wore me out, because I would hammer it down to try and get enough momentum, and I'd pass all these people going up.
Yeah.
But by the last few, I was just exhausted. I went too hard.
Yeah.
Whereas next time, I'm just going to take it easy down. I'll still get maybe a quarter of the way up, and then just pedal it out. Yeah,
pacing is very important in that section, because that's my biggest tip there is pace yourself. And for me, with the power meter, I just stayed within that zone, and I did not go too much harder than that. So I know you guys have power meters, right? So pay attention to your power there, especially if the winds are coming in your face. Keep it nice and steady. Then there's an out and back. The out and back, like no kidding, it seems like it takes forever, right? Once you get on there. So just get prepared for that. It's a long out and back, and once you first turn off, there's a little tiny out and back too. That's not the end of it, right? That's just a little extra loop they put in. Then you have to keep going to the special needs. Okay. And again, pay close attention to your pacing and your nutrition. And a lot of people their bodies go down. It's like, whoa, right? So you have to turn around and go back and then go this way. So there's a chance that the winds should be favorable one direction, right? So you should have a reprieve sometime. Then once you get on the highway after the out and back, then you start the climb up to yellow. And it's a gradual climb, but it's a little bit. You can see your speed's going to drop right away. That's because the elevation does go up. Like if you look back here, right, it slowly starts going up and up and up and up. It's gradual, and your speed will go down. So don't think that you're losing speed and effort, because everyone else is doing the same thing. Okay. And then once you're at the top, there's like 20 kilometers downhill, which is pretty good. But stay focused on your turns, right? Don't go too crazy around the corners. You can get a lot of speed. And then when you get close to town, then start thinking about your T2 and your run and what has to happen in T2, right? But keep thinking about nutrition and pace. I had an athlete last year who his nutrition kind of was in the baggie and it turned to goo. He's like, I can't eat that, so he tossed it, not thinking that there goes his nutrition. So you gotta, if you toss something, you gotta replace it back with something. So pay attention to what's going in. Bike rules, I'm not going to go over too much of that. It's going to be in the athlete handbook, but it's basically 3 strikes and you're out. So don't draft, don't pass on the right side, keep 4 bike lengths apart. And 4 bike lengths is a long ways. It's like probably from here to the wall over there, right? It's a long way. And know how to pass. So say if I passed you. Once my back tire or wheel passes your front, you got to drop back. You've been passed. Don't go, oh, I'm going to pass them. You speed up. Once I pass you, it's your responsibility to drop back. And it happens a lot. Someone might just go up a little bit quicker and go in front of you. And then he goes, oh, well, now what do I do? And you got to drop back. So it can be frustrating because you're always playing this game of staying out of that draft zone. Now, depending on where you are in the race, you might find yourself in a big pack of people.
Down to the Soyuz. Some of the packs along there, I remember. It was insane. Like when you're going around through all the fun stuff. Yeah. Some of the groups you're in, you're just like, and there's these guys that are just like, like a peloton in a big pace line. You're just like,
yeah, don't do it. And you got to pass within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you can't pass in 20 seconds, then don't do it.
There's a lot of rest and marshals out on the course, or?
There's a lot out there, and you can't hear them coming.
Oh, yeah.
No. Which is a good thing, right? I'm not a big fan of all the drafting out there.
Yeah.
And they'll take a picture. They'll just take a picture of you. You're drafting.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can't argue with them, you're wrong, right?
So then what happens? You have to go to a penalty lap, or no?
Some you'll get.
Is it a time?
Is that time? Or,
There was time there. Yeah.
4 minutes or 2 minutes or something?
Yeah, they'll have penalty tents, and you'll have to go to the penalty tent, and then you'll have to write your number down, and then do your time. So you don't want to be in there. Okay, how to race and how to pace your bike. I think your Ironman bike pace should be high zone 2 and low zone 3. Okay, so very, very steady. Okay, you shouldn't be working too hard. I mean, you're out there for at least 5 hours. 5-hour bike ride, no matter what you're doing, is a long time to bike, right? So don't be too hard, okay? What do I got here? So pay close attention to your values and avoid saying, oh, I feel so good, I'm going to go just a bit faster. Because you might feel like $100 out there. So just always try to gauge back, hold back a little bit. It's probably better to hold back than it is to push it, okay? In the wind, use things like your cadence, wattage, and heart rate and gauges to ensure you stay on target. Because you'll slow down. But if you have something to look at, so if you're in the wind, keep your RPMs up, or watch your heart rate, keep your heart rate in the right zone, or your wattage. They'll all be good. And that's why I have a bullseye there for you. Those are good. So these are my targets that I use. My heart rate's for the bike is 155 to 165. My perceived effort is like 75%. And my power is 200. My cadence is 95 to 105 on the flats and a minimum of 65 on the hills. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'll have my heart rate. I'll look at that. Check my power. Now think, how do I feel? Keep asking myself, how do I feel? And my cadence. Always look in those 4 things.
What's your thought of when you're descending the hills? Because there's a lot of descending in the course. Like, do you think do you relax, or do you go and try and keep your effort up as high as you can and still be safe?
I think Ironman's such a long day that I'd probably coast down most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to go, like some people just be bombing down, and I just can't do that. I think once I get to 65, I'm fine. I don't go faster than 65.
Okay.
And I'd probably save my legs for the most part, so I'm not going to be spinning or pushing down the hill. An Olympic distance is different. I'd be pushing down the hills.
Right.
But Ironman, I'd rather save my legs for going up. Same thing with the swim. There's mental cues you can use. Just come up with things like short things like perfect power, steady and smooth, spin, stay aero. You want to stay as aero as long as you can. That's the fastest position to be in, most efficient. Am I doing my best? Like, am I going as fast as I can? Or should I go harder? Or am I happy? I think don't push down the ball of your foot. That's how I like to pedal. Relax my toes, because sometimes I'm pushing down too hard with my toes. And then by the end of 3 hours, I'm like, oh, my feet are killing me. And then I like to say, good job, you're doing good. And then other things like relax, I feel good. Remember to enjoy this. So see, when I see pictures, the camera, I like to do fun things. Yeah, but that's okay, because I like that kind of a picture. Instead of like, oh, right? So I wouldn't want to display the other one. And you'll find that you'll see the camera guys will be right in the middle, and you can take time and do whatever you want. Smile, I'll say things like loving this, and I'm doing Ironman, and thank you, and all that. Okay, T2. So after you finish the bike, you got to think of how do I get off and what do I do next, right? So once you come to T2, you got to get off before the mountain line, right? And then someone takes your bike. You don't have to go back to your bike rack. They take your bike and they rack it for you. And then you need to go find your bag, right? So the bike to run bag, go to your number, pick it up. And then you go to your tent. In the tent, you take off your helmet. And then if you're going to change your clothes, you change your clothes, put on socks if you're going to, and then running shoes, and then you're out. Okay? And don't pack a picnic in there. I recommend sitting down, but don't sit down a long time. Because it's easy, once you sit down for a long time, it's hard to get back up. So minimize what you're doing in there. Just get it done quick. We've already talked about that. Now we're on to the run course. The run course is interesting. So you say the transition's here, then you run out, then you turn right, then you go this way, and then you go out and then back. Then you come this way and then head back out for the long run. So this little section is new. They've added in the last few years. And when you finish, you have to come back this way, and you go this way, and then out to the boat, and then back. So it's not. Once you come back into town, you're not done. You still have to go out and back.
You almost hit the finish line, then you got like a cave out and back.
Yeah, but the nice thing is there's a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah, crowd carries you.
Crowd carries you. And I think it's about 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
That distance, and it can be, it can be hard at the end, and pretty cool at the beginning because you got all these crowds cheering for you, but you gotta not go too fast. And the aid stations on here are every mile. There's the course profile. So the hilliest parts are coming out of town is actually a bit uphill, and then it flattens out here. And then as you get to McLean Creek Road, so that's where you turn off on the bike, but on the run you keep going straight, and there you get some climbs here. So up and then down. And then this is the special needs at OK Falls at 21K. And then you have to go back and do the hills. So this is a tough section right here. And then on the way back. The last section coming into town is going to be gradual downhill, which is nice. Okay. So when I first start the run, I like to try and keep the mile at a pretty controlled pace. And I'll use my GPS as a good gauge. So just for example, last year I was running, I think I looked down, I was running a 4:30 pace. And that was too quick, right? So say if I want to run 4:50, I'm running 20 seconds too fast. Because the crowd gets you up, so I had to slow down a bit. And give your legs some time to switch over to running. So it's going to take a while, so don't worry if you feel a little bit stiff. You might feel very good about running. You might be so happy to get off your bike, like I told you, Ken. I don't want to see my bike again. Let's start running. Just talking about the hill by OK Falls, it's a long hill that goes up and a long hill that goes down before your special needs. So just stay within yourself. and pacing. Focus on cadence, small steps.
There's a great crowd in OK Falls too last year.
There is.
Awesome, yeah.
And drive the course so you know what to expect.
Yeah.
And you can even do it on race the week leading up. You can bike out there and then bike back. You get a good feel for it. And for the run, I like to break the run up into quarters. 10Ks. First 10K is about getting your legs just after the bike, nice and steady. The second one's about finding your pace and maintaining nutrition. Nutrition is very important because you don't want to eat. You've been stuffing yourself on the bike. You're like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat. But you have to keep eating. The third 10K is about knowing you're halfway done, right? So you get to the halfway point and go, that's it. You know, I've only got a half marathon to go. And think about that. When I break it into quarters, it makes it so much easier. You go, okay, I'm done that, done this, moving on to this, and then move on to the last one. Okay, the fourth 10K is all about focusing and dedicating a kilometer to someone special. So what I like to do here is, say if you got 10K to go, how many aid station is that in 10K? That's 6? So 6. And then you can dedicate it to someone special. Say, quote, this section here is dedicated to this person, and helps you keep running. It really does, because then you don't want to stop. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Because you are at this point in the race, 3 and 4, you're really starting to hurt. Your legs are really, really sore, right? Run pacing, the same thing with bike pace. I think you're high zone 2 and low zone 3. We've talked about keeping a pace during the first mile. Cadence is very important. I think if you can keep your cadence up through the whole time, that will keep you going. No matter how fast you think you're going, keep your legs moving. Okay. So know your LSD cadence. So like today when you're running, does anyone know your cadence here? No.
About 83.
83. Yeah.
Mine's usually like fairly high.
So for me, I try to get mine like around 86. So shorter strides. It's much easier. The easy way to measure that is just to go out and run. 15 seconds, measure one leg strike. And then times it by 4, and it'll get your cadence. So ideally, shorter strides will get you faster. And to give you an idea of my targets that I use, my heart rate for the run is 160 to 169. Perceived effort is 75%, and my pace is 5-minute kilometers or 8-minute miles. The cadence is 85. And the last thing down there says, try to do minimal walking. Only walk during part of the aid stations. Now I try on the first half marathon, I try not to walk at all. So the aid stations are very fast. I'm running, I'm taking my drinks and just drinking. And I'll be running with the gel flask because I don't have to stop for gels. And the same thing when I get to my special needs, I'll grab another gel flask so I got them. I don't need to take it and tear it and throw it in. But on the second half, you sometimes want a little break. But even try not to take too long of a break in transition or in the aid station. Same thing with the swim and bike. You can use some mental cues, and there's some examples of mental cues I use. And these are like, so there's me last year. See, I'm not smiling, but I still like to have a good picture. So just stand up nice and tall when you got a picture. You don't want to be slumping over, right? I think of things like I'm well prepared and ready, steady and smooth, mid-foot strike, tall posture, slight forward lean. Like I told you today, swing your elbows to the rear. It really helps you open up your breathing and your arm swing. Say good job, relax, and these are similar that we use in the swim and bike. Okay, and then the finish line. So this is my finish line last year. And think about what you're going to do. Like, I coach a lot of people, so I'll watch them when they do Coeur d'Alene on the computer. And it's funny watching how people finish. A lot of people will do like this. They might do 2 pumps, and they might just tap their watch, and they might go, oh, they're frustrated. It happens a lot. A lot of people don't look happy. And so this one here was, it's not the best picture, but I tried to do a gymnastic salute for the boys. I'm kind of jumping across the line. So that's what I'm doing there. So, I don't know, do something neat in your finish line. The same thing, if there's 4 people and you're all running towards the finish line, look at the time. Does the time matter? Right. Say if you're coming in at 13:23, what would you rather have? 13:23 something seconds or a picture with nobody?
Right.
Yeah.
Really? Because I could have 4 people right here.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And when I did Hawaii, I'm running, and this lady comes up. She's sprinting beside me, right? And I could probably sprint with her, but I'm like, go ahead. You go ahead. I don't need it that bad. I want a good picture. And so the audio is funny. And here comes Todd Malcolm from Calgary. And it's not me. It's this lady coming through, right? And she's just running through, and I just take my time. And right? So I got a great little video and great finish line. So, I mean, this is important because you'll get a picture of it. You might stick it on your wall or whatever. And people are watching you too. Your friends and family only watch you once. It's right here at the end. So do something special, you know? I don't know. That's what I think. That's it.